What do we have for Virgo? Ten of Wands, Sag energy at the foundation of the reading, followed by the Five of Pentacles, Taurus energy at the sacral. Virgo, I was getting a flood of downloads as I was leading up to your reading, and I was a little confused with what was coming through, but then it all started to crystallize. And I feel I'm seeing the exact same message here with these two cards. You are stepping into a timeline where the burdens of your past are no longer an ornament in your present. And what I mean by this, Virgo, things that once had all your energy, had all your focus, things that lacked in reciprocity, you are finally able to shift your focus away from and put it on things that actually feed your soul. Some of the downloads I was receiving were surrounding love. And I thought, surely I'm not being guided to do a love reading for Virgo, but then it all started to make sense. It's a different kind of love, Virgo, that I feel you're stepping into. It's a love that you are finding within self and for what is actually nourishing your soul. This has nothing to do with anybody external to you. It's a love that you're finding for God, for your supreme being. The Ten of Wands here is showing us that things that once made you feel very overwhelmed and drained you of your life force are simply not something that you're even entertaining anymore. It's very much the energy of somebody who gets out of a toxic relationship, and at first they think, well, I want to find love again. But then start to realize after a time of healing and a time spent focusing on other areas of their life, they realize that they don't need to find love within somebody else to feel happy in their life. I always speak about this in my readings, right? It's like when you find that love within self, that love between you and the divine, this is when the real stuff actually comes through. You start to see all of that reflected back to you in the face of another. And what this is really speaking about is not you being single forever or you not sharing love with another for the rest of your life. Not at all. In fact, it's the complete opposite of that. It's the divine trying to show you what real love is, so when you finally see it, you recognize it and not wind up on a path that you've already gone down. And this is exactly what this Five of Pentacles in reverse at the sacral is speaking about. Five of Pentacles in reverse, this is an energy of overcoming some sort of spiritual poverty. It's an energy where you are starting to have some sort of renewed sense of hope. There's a lot of change taking place in your life for the better. I feel that a lot of the Virgo collective were stuck in these cycles where you were repeating the same patterns over and over again, expecting different results. This could be you dating the same kinds of people. This could be you moving away from your hometown and then all of a sudden moving back and moving away and moving back. There's so many different ways this can show up, but there's some sort of breaking of a pattern which is allowing all of this new energy to flood through. And with this release and this breaking of this pattern, you are no longer holding on to the burdens of your past and these burdens which were never serving your highest good. Yes, you had to go down this path, Virgo, to learn the lessons you needed to learn. And I'm getting some ringing in my left ear, which is indicating things being removed. Virgo, I feel that whatever it is I'm picking up here for you, it took actually running this cycle a few times to see something from a higher vantage point, a higher perspective. It's like things began to make sense. There was something you didn't see before, a pattern. Could have something to do with some sort of, I heard, emotional healing or some sort of shadow work you needed to do, which I feel you've done now, which is allowing you, well, it's like you are looking at life through a different lens, a lens that doesn't have a filter on it, a lens that isn't coloring your view of life. What do we have at the solar plexus, please? Unbelievable. Ten of Wands again. I just switched decks. Wow. Now this is very interesting because obviously these are different depictions of the Ten of Wands. Here, you're still carrying those wands, right? The Ten of Wands represents burdens, right? Stress, exhaustion. But here, you're not carrying the wands, right? So it speaks about everything I just mentioned. You're laying down these burdens. And it's like this individual is talking to you like, hey, Let me go ahead and remove those burdens from your life. I feel like this is representing the universe, a representative of the divine, a spirit guide. But this is all the result of some sort of healing, right? The shadow work. See, this right here is a form of spiritual poverty, right? You're living inside a box with very limited room to stretch beyond your comfort zone. Oh, wow. This is what you've broken free of, Virgo. And we have this 10 of Wands at the solar plexus, right? So I'm picking up on you having unblocked your solar plexus, which is an energy of feeling, well, very boxed in and powerless, just like I said. But now I'm picking up this more balanced energy, right? Which is you taking control and breaking beyond the confines of the way you perceive your reality and the way you walk and talk it. I've never actually put it like that before, but it does make sense. It's like you have a new strut, right? You can hear it in your voice. You're wearing yourself differently now, Virgo. I really feel that this is just really speaking about how you're showing up in the face of the universe, right? It's like from head to toe, there's been some sort of major change. Okay, I just heard a vibrational shift. Makes perfect sense now. With this release, you are now vibrating higher, right? So your vibration is how you access different timelines, right? So when you're vibrating higher because you've released some sort of burdens or stress, when you do shadow work, all of these things, when you're just really focusing and working on improving the quality of your life, you raise your vibration, and your vibration is the key that unlocks a new timeline, right? We can call this timeline jumping, because you have to understand that all of this has an influence on the way you perceive your reality. Sure, you may be living inside the same world, but you're experiencing it by way of a new vessel, is what I heard very clearly. Now, obviously, we're speaking in a lot of metaphor here, but it does make sense. There's just this whole new, renewed sense of self, Virgo. And what's interesting is I only have 3 cards on the table, and these 3 cards are not the most favored cards in the tarot. Really depends on how you read them, but these are some of the heavier energies, but it really just speaks about what you have overcome to get to where you are. This is why this reward that you're feeling within self is being highlighted so much. Virgo, I just heard something very interesting. I've heard a lot of you have had a spiritual walk-in of some sort. Now, it can be argued what a spiritual walk-in is, but what I am getting here for you, Virgo, is that you have met yourself on a new timeline, a version of yourself that exists on a higher vibrational timeline. You've calibrated with this version of yourself, and your conscious awareness of who you are and the life you are living is now on that new timeline. You've calibrated with your higher self. This is a kind of spiritual walk-in, and this is exactly what I'm getting here for you, Virgo. You've actually pulled this off. What do we have at the heart? Wow. 9 of Pentacles, Virgo. That is your energy right there at the heart. Virgo, I just heard that you have tamed the nature around you. Your mind has superimposed its own design on the world that surrounds you. You know your limitations, and you finally set boundaries in accordance. You've chosen what you'll allow in and what you're being guided to keep out. There's a sense of extreme material comfort and abundance that is either already surrounding you, Virgo, or you are being given access to, because you have taken full control over your reality. You see, the way I'm picturing the energy around you that you've left behind, Virgo, it's like you were being led by some sort of shadow energy. Now, this can go really, really deep, so I'll try and keep it as surface level as possible. But it's as if something you experienced on your path, now I'm just speaking generally here, influenced the way you perceived and experienced your reality. Now, whatever this may have been, could have been some sort of trauma you experienced as a child, usually it is, stays with you. As you become an adult, you perceive life through a filter that represents the trauma, right? It kind of colors your experience. So essentially, you're not really in the driver's seat of your life. But this is what has come to an end now. And this is exactly why we mentioned that you have tamed nature, the elements that surround you. You are the one writing the script now, Virgo. You are the one, finally, that dictates how your path is going to look moving forward. And this really is Manifestation 101. You tell the universe what you want, and the universe responds. Now, sounds simple enough, but when someone or something else is in the driver's seat, this can become very challenging. But a very basic example of what I'm picking up here for you, Virgo, it's the difference between somebody saying to themselves, nothing ever works out for me, and the universe responding, yeah, I know, huh, right? Giving you more of what you are speaking out loud, and you saying, wow, things are finally working out. I finally feel in control over my life. And the universe saying, yeah, I know, that's great. Let's keep pushing forward down this path. You see, we have free will, okay? So we are the architects of our own reality. A lot of people miss this one. You know, people spend a lot of time shaking their fist at God. How could you let this happen? And forgetting that man has been given free will to govern themselves. I said in a recent reading that, if we didn't have free will, there'd be literally no point of even existing. We are here because we are all expressions of the universe. We are here to experience life, evolution. It's as if we are all brain cells inside the macro universal mind. It's like God has pushed us out of the nest, and now we have to go and get it on our own. And it's not circumstantial. This covers all areas of our life, right? Faith without works is dead. But this is what you've figured out, Virgo. Some of you may have already known this, but hadn't been practicing it in all areas of your life. But you are now. So what you're seeing is a complete transformation of your life from the ground up, right? And Virgo, this Nine of Pentacles, like I said, is your energy, but it represents you in your highest vibration. So look what you've had to overcome, right? And now here you are, stepping into your power, right at the heart, might I add, which confirms what I was saying at the beginning of the reading about this love that you have found within self, this love for your creator, nature, the world around you. See, when it comes to love that you share with another, a lot of people don't quite understand what real love is because they haven't found it within self. You could take your focus off of sharing love with another altogether. Focus on improving your life and the love that you hold with self, nature, the world around you. And before you know it, you will be flooded with opportunities of love left and right. They'll come from every direction. We've all heard the saying, when you're not focused on love, it comes looking for you. Well, this is exactly what I'm getting here, Virgo. What do we have at the throat, please? The Magician, Gemini, Virgo energy at the throat. Again, following everything we're saying here, because this is speaking about what I mentioned in regards to you taming nature and the elements around you. The Magician is all about manifestation, right? You have all four elements: air, water, earth, fire. It goes back to what I said about you having this new improved relationship with the universe, understanding that the words you speak, the words that you don't speak, your thought process is what dictates how you will experience the world around you. If there was going to be one card in the entire tarot, right, out of all the 78 cards that represented the architect, right, like I said, the architect of your reality, it would be the Magician. And it's right there at the throat. So again, confirming everything we're saying here surrounding what you speak out into the ethers, the way you perceive yourself, the way you think about yourself, the relationship you have with yourself is being highlighted in this entire reading. This is the key, right? This is the key that allows you to access the new timeline. Like I said, the Magician is all about you turning your visions into actual reality because you have a deeper understanding of your manifestation abilities now, Virgo. We have two cards on the table here that represent you in your highest vibration. You as the best version of yourself, at the heart and at the throat. Finally manifesting your true heart's desires, co-creating with the universe, and being the architect of your reality. This is one of these energies where you step into a new timeline and your life feels like a miracle. You start to realize that miracles aren't actually a rarity. They're very common when you step into alignment with your path, your true north. You come into calibration with your higher self. It's something you can access at all times. These things aren't really miracles anymore. That's just the way they were once perceived on this alternate timeline where it seemed like these things were almost impossible to access. But because you've had this change of perception around how you experience the world around you, the miracle is now commonplace. And I have the 10 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. This is also your energy, Virgo. Okay, so there's some sort of spiritual inheritance that you're being given access to. And the fact that it's on the bottom of the deck, it didn't fly out, is telling me that this is coming towards you. Or you're moving towards it, rather, okay? It's actually already here for you. This is what you are making your way towards, right? 9 of Pentacles right before the 10. And there's something about this Falcon here as well. It's like something has been set in motion. I'm getting something surrounding you stepping into an allocated position in your reality, allocated position in the universe. I always speak about this. This is when the divine calls upon us to move into certain spaces. It can certainly be geographical. It could be mental as well. And when we actually step into these spaces, again, whether it's literal or whether it's metaphorically speaking, we become receivers. We're able to receive downloads, blueprints, ideas. Now, what I'm getting here, Virgo, is that this is what's happened, right? And this Falcon here is being used to represent your arrival in this allocated position. It's like you arrive and the Falcon takes flight. This Falcon is serving as some sort of guide, some sort of symbol of arrival to the universe. It's like when the Falcon takes flight, the door begins to open to the new timeline. Wow. There's a depth in this reading that's quite beautiful. What do we have at the third eye, please? Unbelievable. Queen of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy at the third eye. So we have 3 cards in a row here that all represent your energy, Virgo. There's something different. It's like you've changed something up. You know, this card is from the After Tarot. But in the Before Tarot, it shows the coin being handed to you by a snake, right? The snake's not here in this one, though. So it's as if you have this new perception around your reality like we've been picking up. You're actually able to access something now without it being connected. Oh, wow. Of course, you're accessing this timeline without the influence of that shadow energy that was in the driver's seat, right? I quite often call that a dark passenger, right? It's energy. It just represents the trauma, the hurt, the pain. 10 of Wands energy that we all have. There's not a single person on this planet that doesn't have some of this. But there is a difference between carrying this with you and recognizing it and taking complete control over it so it does not color your reality. You make peace with it and you store it away. You compartmentalize it. You don't have to hide it. You don't have to bury it. You just put it in its own space. Tremendous amount of ringing in my ear when that just came through, Virgo. You are now experiencing your life without the filter of the pain, the hurt, the letdown of your past, or just life in general. You've let it all go. You've taken control of the elements around you, and you're fully aware that you are the architect. This Queen of Pentacles is a very similar energy to the 9 of Pentacles, but this is telling a story, right? It's like this puts some sort of energy in motion, right? The Falcon takes flight to symbolize your arrival at this allocated position, which gives you this manifestation ability, magician at the throat. And then, Queen of Pentacles, you receive the blessing, the gift from the divine. One, two, three. Virgo, you hold this very savvy businesswoman or businessman energy right now. I feel that it's in your best interest to really invest in yourself right now. You're being encouraged to cultivate any new ideas you may have. You are in high manifestation mode right now. It's all over this reading. So use the energies that surround you right now to your benefit. I feel that, well, this is the type of energy, Virgo, that anything you touch will turn to gold. And this is all the result of the hard work that you've put in. It's karmic law. What do we have at the crown, please? Ah, wow. Ace of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sag energy at the crown. Unbelievable. So confirming everything I'm saying here, this Ace of Wands is representing some sort of new project, something that you've been working on, Virgo, or something you want to start working on. There's a lot of inspiration here. A lot of creative energy is surrounding you right now, but there's some sort of beginning here. You're being given access to this, Virgo. This pentacle, I feel, resembles this Ace of Wands. It's like this is what the divine is handing to you. You know, it doesn't always have to be a literal pentacle, right? Money. A lot of the times it's going to come through in the form of downloads. All of a sudden you get this idea out of nowhere. You put action behind the download and then you're being given access to the literal pentacles, right? The divine shows you, tells you, guides you how to go out and get it yourself. I just heard, Virgo, that you are entering into a time, if you haven't already, where you're going to be flooded with so many ideas, so many different things that you can implement in your life to pull through some sort of material wealth. I just heard a material harvest, okay? I feel that you just need to pick one and run with it. But the most important thing that you can do right now is to take action. Don't sit on this, Virgo. Take advantage of the supportive energy while it surrounds you right now. Don't hesitate. What do we have at the foundation, please? Wow. Four of Swords, Libra energy at the foundation. This just followed what I said about taking action, not to sit on it, right? Now, this Four of Swords, I read this as a negative polarity. This is an energy that wants you to second guess yourself. And it's right underneath that Ten of Wands. So that's that dark passenger wanting to get back into the driver's seat, right? You know, we just spoke about how you're compartmentalizing that energy, making peace with it, not burying it, and filing it away once and for all. But as we all know, these things always stay with us, right? Doesn't mean they have to affect us in the way they once did. But there's something about this, Virgo. It's like this shadow energy wants to get back into the driver's seat, okay? Now, this can just be a really deep way of speaking about insecurities, wanting to creep back in and whisper into your ear that you can't pull something off, you can't do something, that you don't have what it takes. But the message here, Virgo, is that when you feel this starting to unearth itself, which you most likely will, that should be your sign, because this is almost always going to happen until we get to the point where it's almost laughable, right? You start to feel that insecurity creep in, you recognize it for what it is, and you push harder. That's the message. When you feel this come through, push harder. What do we have at the sacral, please? Seven of Pentacles. Taurus energy at the sacral. Underneath that Five of Pentacles in reverse, also Taurus energy. So this Seven of Pentacles here is speaking further on this shadow energy, right? Now, I feel that the reason this is coming up is because you are stretching beyond your comfort zone, Virgo, and there's some fear associated with this. Now, that's normal to feel that. And once you push through it, it's likely that you won't feel it in that same way again. You may feel it in a slightly different way, but I feel that the universe wants you to get used to facing fear and going directly through it. And that's an interesting message, but it does make sense. You know, the world we live in is very much selling fear everywhere we turn. We're bombarded with it on the daily basis, in just about every waking moment. But we don't have to let it affect us or color our experience, right? And really, Virgo, the most effective way to deal with this when you're feeling it is just take a time out. Take it to God. Pray, meditate. Take some time out for yourself, because this is telling us that something has crept in, right? Somewhere on your path. And this is, again, very common. Sometimes we can forget to take that needed time out for ourselves, right? We've been inside the matrix for so long, we don't even realize what's attached itself to us. So it's very important to take that time out, Virgo. You know, there's a big Mother Nature energy to your reading here. I always get Mother Nature vibes with the Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. Very earthy kind of energy. So you grounding yourself is very important, okay? You staying in touch with the elements at all times. But it's interesting because Taurus is also earth energy, right? But these two cards are reading a more darker earth energy. It's an energy that's very stuck, very weighed down by the everyday grind of life. You know what it is, Virgo? It's an energy of, what's the point anyway, right? That's what this energy is reading right here. And it's at that sacral position. So your sacral's all connected to your creativity, your passion, your optimism, which is what we were getting back here, right? This is what this is all representing: creativity, passion, optimism, hunger for life. But then we get this energy here, which is that shadow energy that is trying to extinguish all this passion, okay? So just remember, Virgo, when you feel this creeping up from the depths, one, you'll know you're on the right path because you wouldn't be feeling this resistance if you weren't. And two, it's time for some maintenance to put this energy back where it belongs. What do we have with the solar plexus, please? Oh, wow. Nine of Pentacles. Virgo, that is your energy. We have both polarities, positive polarity, negative polarity. This Nine of Pentacles represents you sitting on the hopes and dreams of the past, allowing your lack of success in certain areas of your life to define you, which again speaks about this shadow energy, right? What's it all for anyway? I've tried that before. See, when anybody, you don't even have to be a Virgo for this particular message to resonate here. Anybody who feels that energy, okay, is holding on to something that does not belong to them. And almost 100% of the time, you probably don't even know it's there. It's so strong, it's just coloring your experience. You're experiencing life through the filter of this darkness, through the filter of this trauma, through the filter of this shadow energy, okay? They're really, really emphasizing this here, Virgo. You know, I feel that this right here is going to speak to the Virgos that haven't pushed through yet to the other side. You're still dealing with this. And this is going to serve as hope, okay? All of this right here. We see what happens, what you have access to when you pull through this energy, when you push through this energy, right? This Nine of Pentacles is an energy of setbacks, energy of feeling isolated. And it looks like he's kind of like squeezed himself into a box, right? Like I was saying, living inside a box with all the broken dreams of the past. See how he's sitting on, a trumpet. These can almost be seen as things he's given up on or hopes and dreams, right? What do we have at the heart, please? Stolos. Page of Cups. Protection of criminals, it says. Yeah, there's something here that you Virgos are having a hard time releasing. This is now reading as an energy or trauma that some of you are protecting, right? Now that sounds absurd. Why would you protect your trauma? But I feel that the way this happens, Virgo, is that you make up excuses for it. It's like an energy of blaming yourself for things that have happened to you. Okay, there we are. Virgo, I feel that a lot of you need to have a sit down and check in with yourself. Forgive yourself for some things that have taken place on your path. Forgiveness is a necessary part of healing, but there's a lot of confusion that people seem to have surrounding forgiveness. Forgiveness of this kind anyway. It's a forgiveness that you find within self, right? Maybe you forgive yourself for not healing from this sooner. Maybe you forgive yourself for not seeing things from a specific perspective which allows you to heal. But there's almost like this separation of self there. It's like you're forgiving yourself for not healing sooner from whatever this is, and for making yourself suffer longer than you needed to. This really goes back to what I mentioned at the beginning of the reading about this newfound sense of love that you have with yourself, right? It's actually very difficult to explain because it's just a feeling. It's just something that you become very aware of once you go through this healing process, Virgo. Now, those of you who have been through this, you're listening to what I'm saying. It makes perfect sense to you. But until you've gone through this, it's very hard to understand what forgiving yourself truly is. But if you can think about it in terms, again, of there being a separation of who you are in the here and now, and let's say your higher self, right? There's almost like two versions of you. Your higher self is on a higher timeline. That's that healed version of you. It's like your awareness of this allows you to forgive past versions of yourself that dragged yourself through this energy longer than you needed to. I could probably over-explain this, but I'm going to go ahead and just leave it there, Virgo, because I think I've probably said enough for you to understand. But that's what I'm getting here with this Page of Cups in its negative polarity. And then, absolutely perfect. There's just so many things aligning in this reading, Virgo. 9 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. Remember how we saw the 10 of Pentacles earlier on in the reading? But we didn't take it because that energy was not something that you had reached yet. But now we're seeing, after all of this, you reach it. 10 of Pentacles right there at the heart underneath that 9 of Pentacles. Menadel. And look what it says right there. Inner and outer work. Goes back to what I said about you being given access to all of this because of all the hard work you've put into yourself, improving yourself, your experience of your reality. Remember, you're an expression of the universe. You are the architect of your reality. You're being given access to this spiritual inheritance. This is you being given the keys to the kingdom, right? Which can be another way of speaking about the keys to the new timeline, the keys to be able to access this new chapter of your life. Everything is now falling into place perfectly in this reading. The 10 of Pentacles is also an energy of generational wealth, Virgo. A tremendous amount of abundance and financial prosperity is on this table. I mean, it's all over the place. 9, 10 of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Magician, Ace of Wands. And further emphasizing what I was saying about downloads, right, coming through, that you put action behind, which gives you access to all of this. Magician and Ace of Wands, everything you touch will turn to gold. That's what this energy is representing right here. What do we have at the throat, please? 8 of Swords, Gemini energy at the throat. God, protector and savior, truth and justice, protection from enemies who would steal one's fortune. Now, I feel that this enemy that we're speaking about here is that shadow energy, the dark passenger, right? It's that unhealed version of yourself that wants you to stay in that box. And If there's going to be one card that speaks about you living inside a box, it would be the Eight of Swords. This is an energy of restriction, a self-imposed kind of imprisonment, right? You don't have to be there. But see how you're taking hold of this shadow energy. You're not allowing it to control you anymore. And it's almost as if you're turning its head away because there's something with the eyes, right? You can't look directly into the face of this energy because it has some sort of hypnotizing effect over you, which is interesting because as you can see here, both of these cards, and I was noticing this, I didn't say anything about it because I didn't really know what the relevancy was there to it yet, but see how it almost looks like they're hypnotized, right? There's something going on with the eyes. Virgo, I feel that the message there, with everything I just mentioned, speaks about when you have those moments of weakness, when you're quite possibly being consumed by the thoughts of whatever this represents, okay? And with this Eight of Swords here, not allowing yourself to slip and fall into that space, having some sort of routine in place that you immediately go to pull yourself out of it, right? You know, Virgo, for me, whenever I go through this, okay, one of the things that I can personally do to pull me out of it immediately is work out, right? Overexert my body, exhaust my muscles. Immediately, that shadow energy, right, dissipates. So just something to think about, Virgo. Maybe there's something that you need to implement to maintain yourself. I mean, look, this is an awakening right here. It's an ascension. Usually when we go through these things, there's something else that we need to implement on our path because we release so much. So I think it's important to replace a lot of those things that we release with really healthy things that help maintain us. It could be a change in diet. It could be an exercise routine. It could be a meditation practice. There's so many different things that I'm picking up here. So I feel like you're being encouraged here to add something into the equation, Virgo. Just whatever you're feeling called to. What do we have at the third eye, please? Four of Cups, Cancer energy at the third eye. The god deflecting evil, healing capacity, protection from weapons, safety in travel. So I feel that this is further reiterating what I just said, Virgo, about adding something into the equation. This Four of Cups here is speaking about some sort of new outlook that you now have over life, right? And because of this, it's important to add things into your life that support that new outlook. I feel that it will be in your best interest to take up some activities that bring you joy. Put your own needs first right now, Virgo. This is really going to help you with this. It's time. Picking up a big energy of self-love, self-care here, okay? Four of Cups can also be an energy of meditation. So there you go, confirmation on everything that we just said. What do we have at the ground to close out for Virgo, please? Oh, I don't think there's a more perfect card to end this reading with, Virgo. The Empress. God, Father, the Generous. Fertility and fruitfulness assures peace between married couples. Now, the Empress is the most beautiful card in the tarot. It's all the queens in one, and this can speak for males or females, and genders don't matter in tarot. But this Empress is the card that represents everything you touch turning to gold, right? Which is what I said here, and it's right underneath this Ace of Wands. There's several cards on this table that represent abundance. 9, 10 of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Empress. There's a tremendous amount of prosperity that I'm looking at here, Virgo. And it's all on the other side of this, right? It's like we bridge out of this energy with this card here into this. This is all connected to this spiritual inheritance, which again, I feel for a lot of you will come in the form of a download, which allows you to access that spiritual inheritance in the material world, right? An idea, you put it into place, and all of a sudden you have some sort of financial prosperity that comes through for you. But the Empress is also speaking on what I said here about this self-care, self-love. Some of you could be parents, right? There's something going on there. The Empress is also the mother of the tarot, right? It's also another energy of Mother Nature. These are the three cards to me that really represent Mother Nature: Nine of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Empress. A tremendous amount of love is in the outcome of this reading here. But then what it says there about assures peace between married couples, and that takes us all the way back to the beginning of the reading, because I feel that we're getting a little glimmer of hope there for you Virgos that may be single, right? And it puts more weight behind what I said about you taking your focus off of love that you share with another, putting it into yourself, and then seeing how the universe responds by way of that love being reflected back to you in the face of another. And for some of you, it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be your children, okay, if you have children. But you place all of that as it fits into your own set of circumstances and as it speaks to your heart and soul. This is an absolutely beautiful reading, and I certainly hope that you were able to take something from this that can assist you on your path. Virgo, this is the message I have available to you, depending on where you are on this timeline, should you choose to accept. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you would like a personal reading, you can find all of my contact details in the description below this video, and thank you for your donations, Virgo. Take care.